Donald Trump has been doing the Middle East tour, right? And he's had a lot of great commentary along the way. You know me because I'm all about the markets. I mean, I've spent 20 some odd years covering markets, started at Goldman Sachs before I ever became a financial reporter. And a lot of what I do when I'm looking at politics is through a financial lens. So I love hearing him when he says stuff like this over in Saudi Arabia, okay? He loves the stock market right now. Listen.
Amazing what a rising market will do. Oh, it's going to get a lot higher. In fact, I told people 5 weeks ago, this is a great time to buy. I got criticized for that. Now they don't criticize me anymore. People should have listened. But it's going to go a lot higher. You're going to see, we've never had anything like this happen. It's an explosion of investment and jobs, and great companies are coming in.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. It's really funny. He's over there in Saudi Arabia and he's in Qatar and he's effectively kind of like selling the U.S. It's like a giant sales pitch and he's bringing in all kinds of business. This is amazing. Like, did you see, we saw Americo saying that they were going to put all this money into U.S. companies. I loved seeing this. I absolutely loved. Let me see if I can pull this up for you. And Boeing was getting a deal. Oops, wrong one. Stock market is up for the year, tremendously for the year. Anyway, we have America, there we go, signing deals with U.S. companies totaling $90 billion. You had Boeing getting all kinds of orders. It's incredible, right? So he's over there selling America and reminding us, of course, of all the opportunity that we have here in America. And it's in part because we finally get somebody who knows what he's doing in charge. I love having a businessman there in the Oval Office. If you're interested in investing, and by the way, you should be, hey, don't take it from me. Take it from the horse's mouth. You need to go to 76 Research and use my code word dollar.
It's the biggest bill of its kind ever in the history of this country. And Speaker Johnson and Leader Thune have done an incredible job. I mean, I'll let you know we have to get a vote, but we have a lot of support for that bill. And if that happens on top of all of these trade deals that we're doing, this country will hit a point that you better go out and buy stock now. Let me tell you, this country will be like a rocket ship that goes straight up. This is going to be numbers that nobody's ever seen before. That's a very important element of all of this. You know, if we get that, if you don't, and the Democrats are fighting it only because they want to fight. They have Trump derangement syndrome. You know, if it was somebody else, they wouldn't fight. If you had a normal person, if you had some stiff sitting behind you, they'd be fine. But they have Trump derangement syndrome. You know, Senator Schumer's become a Palestinian. Welcome. I don't know when they're going to give him the ceremony, whatever the ceremony may be. It's terrible what's happened to the Democrats. So very, very important element of everything, of what we're doing.
Indeed. Very important. Very, very important. Just on the AOC front, she is in a lot of trouble. And it's almost as though she welcomes this. She brings this on. She wants this kind of commotion. And I think it's because she has these bigger political aspirations. So there would be nothing that would make her happier, of course, than to get arrested. And you may see that they're reluctant to move forward unless she does something really, really egregious. But nonetheless, that's on the table. I want to go to John Kennedy talking about AOC because he's always good for a few laughs. Let's listen in.
Well, I think most Americans understand what's going on with the Democratic Party. They're on their back foot, and they're trying to their leader is Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, and she years ago she took a sharp left, and kept driving, and she's moving their party to the left, and she's losing the American people, and the president keeps hitting them with one blow after another.
Yep. Well, you know what? They can follow her all day long. Right down into the ditch. Okay by me, okay by you. I have a feeling, right? You know, they want to follow her, then they get what they deserve. Reminder, subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. We got a big, big show and a lot to get to today because it's incredible. All that's happening right now. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, but I want to touch on it again because it really is a big deal. The feds have seized control of Rikers Island. I cannot state enough how important that is. You had Letitia James and Kathy Hochul and others coming out saying that Donald Trump and his administration could not get access to Rikers Island and they could not do anything with the prisoners that were there, that were here illegally. Forgive me, I think we hit the wrong lower third. Can you believe that? On there, but let me go back to this because I think it's really important. You got to understand they are taking control of Rikers Island. And this is critical at this moment in time because it flies in the face of everything that these states want. But don't forget, again, go back to supremacy clause, go back to the commerce clause, go back to the naturalization. This is the federal government's jurisdiction. And yes, Tom Homan has wanted this and he has made it clear. Now that ICE has an office in there, they're going through and they're finding everybody. If you're here illegally and you've committed a crime so much that you are now in Rikers Island, you think we're going to pay for your 3 squares a day? I don't think so, nor does he.
Getting ICE officers back in Rikers is meaningful because we agree that, the worst of the worst, the firearms violations, the murders, the kidnappers, the rapists, will come to our attention, certain release, we can grab them. But I made it clear, I want everybody. If you're an illegal alien, you get booked in Rikers Island, I don't care if it's for shoplifting, I want them. So this is a start to deal with the worst of the worst in the beginning, but I made it clear that I plan on the whole of them. I want everybody. So we're going to work toward that. We agreed to some other things I'm not going to discuss on national TV because I don't want the city council to know what I'm doing. City council is fighting the mayor and everything. So let's surprise them on what we're coming to the table with and let them sue me. Bring it. Because I'm done. I'm not running a popularity contest. I came to New York to get meaningful action. We got a lot of words. The last meeting I had, today I came, I want action, I want a plan, and we're leaving with a partial plan, but I'll come back every week if I have to until we finish this plan. But it's a good first step to get back on Rikers Island. That's a game changer. You
better believe it. Total game changer. And interesting that he has to be wary of the city council in New York City, even though the mayor has come out and supported him. Eric Adams, who, by the way, as soon as Trump was elected, got rid of those, it was like nearly $400 that they were giving in special cards. You got like a little Visa card or MasterCard or whatever to go and buy food that was ethnically appropriate because they found that the migrants that were coming here staying in the Roosevelt Hotel where they got daily maid service, can't make it up, were not comfortable with the food that they were being served. So they needed ethnically appropriate food, which meant they were handing out these, nearly $400 a week to each one of these migrants. It was something that obviously New York City could not handle. The burden was too intense. And Eric Adams said, we're putting a stop to it. So the left is going nuts. The city council's going nuts. But no, he's out there, says he's going to do the right thing. He's working with Homan. Here he is, February 14th, Valentine's Day, on Fox and Friends, saying we're going in, we're going to do what's needed. And indeed, Homan now has an office in Rikers Island.
You've agreed to sign an executive order to open up an ICE office at Rikers Island so that these dangerous criminals that are here illegally can be deported. Tell the folks at home, because they'll hear this, they'll say, oh, they're going to come after me next. You said these are the worst of the worst. So who is at Rikers Island that will be deported? What have they done? And you bring in 2 points where the far left has hijacked this narrative. ICE is running in our schools, ICE is running in our churches, and they are creating this frenzy. They're not in the business of just grabbing children. And we need to, just stop all this noise. Rikers Island, particularly after all the reforms, Rikers Island is now having some of the most dangerous people in our city. And by having ICE on Rikers Island, part of our gang intelligence, using our intel with NYPD, correction officers, we can identify those gangs inside and outside on the street. There was no reason they were removed from Rikers Island. And as I sat down with Tom earlier, I said that we're going to look at all the legalese. I'm able to do an executive order to put them back on Rikers Island, what they should be with part of our criminal justice apparatus.
Because, again, you have criminals that are here in this country illegally, and then they commit a crime, and you're going to try and protect them some more? I mean, what the heck is it all about? Really, ladies and gentlemen, I think we know. Don't forget, New York State tried to get 800,000 people that were non-citizens to be able to be on the voter rolls until the court shut that one down. It's like, it's crazy town, USA.